Hey everybody, how's it going? Making a weekly video for you guys. I've been dropping videos here and there. If anyone didn't see, I had a video reacting to a YouTuber, another PokeTuber, and then talking about the prismatic drops that we had for the Pokemon Center. So if you're seeing this video, go ahead and check those out. Some interesting points, at least in my opinion. But today I wanted to talk about a couple different things. Nothing too crazy, but a couple updates and then um, some things to be expecting coming up, as well as just some thoughts on the market and just some discussions. So the first thing is I was just watching what's his name, Pete Football or something like that. Big seller on eBay for Pokemon cards, TCG, all that stuff. He was doing a live, and the prices of some things, that's a lot of things are going for, is absolutely insane. So the market is continuing to boom. You know, um, people are continuing to pay just crazy amounts of prices for things. Like I saw 151 ETB going for 300, black and white. It was going for like 120s, 130s. There was a couple that were going for 90s. But the fact that those were going for that, uh, celebr- celebrations V unions were going for like 120, 140. So just some absolutely crazy prices right now. See this right now with the way that things are going. I don't see this market slowing down anytime soon. I do think at the earliest, as far as with the market, I think the earliest we're looking at a slowdown is probably going to be more than likely the beginning of next year. We're gonna have the winter time, and like I said, we right now nothing's slowing down. Everything's just kind of going crazy. Um, but I'm hoping that here around January, February of next year, maybe things will start to slow down. Pokemon might be not necessarily doing a lot of reprints for things, and they may just be printing. And I think that's what they're more than likely doing is they're just doing a shit ton of printing for newer sets. So it's an interesting dynamic and situation. If because I know for me personally, I'm looking at the situation as what can I afford, and yeah, there's things that I can afford, but then it's like, do I want to pay for them? So that's what you have to look for. I think that unless you're extraordinarily lucky, like you have vending machines nearby or stuff like that, I think that being able to get stuff like MSRP is going to be a challenge, at least for this foreseeable future. I do think that with some of the new mega sets coming out, not the first set, the mega evolutions, but the Charizard, I can't remember what it's called, but the Charizard and Gengar set, I think that's gonna build it up more. And then we have Greninja and Rayquaza and the Dragonite, even though apparently a lot of people aren't fans of the Dragonite. I don't really care for it either, but watch a nice SAR come out for it, or SIR, sorry. Um, SIR come out for it, and it's like $500. And then watch how many people go, oh, this Dragonite's awesome. It's the best ever. Da, da, da. I've always loved it. So it'll be interesting to see that. But I do think with the newer sets coming out, newer sets releasing, it's going to take away from like Destined Rivals, Surging Sparks, Journey Together, Black and White, which is not really perform. It's performing fine, but it's not performing like the other sets are. They're just continuing to go up in prices. So with that all being said, I think that maybe towards the end of the year, you might be able to start finding some product here and there for cheaper, but I don't think we're anywhere close to MSRP. Um, Destined Rivals, it may go from 300, 320, I think is what it's sitting at now. and it might go down to like 260, 220 at the lowest. And I hope it goes down lower. We'll just have to see. Another thing, if anyone didn't see, anyone's come across this video, I went ahead and did a short with the Seismitoad when it's like 217, which is where it's pretty much been staying at for a minute. Um, and I did a poll, and I asked, like pretty much, is this card worth it? Or are you gonna be buying this card for this price? And there was like 30 something votes, and a lot of there were there was like 92% said no, and like 8% said yes. So, like, would you buy this card right now for this price? And it's really interesting because you see, like, don't get me wrong, I think it was a smart play, even though the Seismitoad and normally the side like a newer card that's not normally not an SIR or not something special like an IR or something like that. Traditionally, normally, besides a handful of cards, are you going to see them just blow up in price? And of course, like I said, it's a smart play for people to go ahead and say, screw it, I'm going to buy a bunch of these Seismitoads for $60 because of the Magikarp, the Giratina, the Shinji Kanda being the artist, and it's going to go ahead and I'll take my chances, and it worked out. So kudos to anybody who did that play. It was a smart play. Like I said, it's one of those things where you know people were thinking about it, but probably a lot of people didn't do it because of how Pokemon's normally gone. Um, and I do think with that there is a lot of manipulation going on in the market. Now, obviously, we've seen a ton of manipulation between sets or eras or cards, stuff like that. We've seen that going on. So I'm sure it's no shock to think that the Seismitoad is getting, because of Shinji Kanda and Shinji Kanda in general, their cards have been going up uh, tremendously in value, and it'd be funny to see when they move on from Shinji Kanda, they go to a different artist. It'd be funny to see how the cards hold up or don't hold up, because it'll all change. People find something different, something new, and then I'm not really sure how it all gets started. But it's funny because if it wasn't for Shinji Kanda, no YouTubers would be talking about it before the set came out. And then when they were talking about it, they're like, it's Seismitoad. Like, yes, it'll probably perform okay or better, but I don't think anyone could have predicted what it's going on right now. But now, a lot of YouTubers are saying how sexy the card is or fantastic it is, and there's the whole thing about, oh, the card's going to get banned because or it's got 666 on it, which, I mean, that's just people grasping at straws. So to get to the nitty gritty of it, I would be careful. I think the card's cool. Like, I'd buy it for $15, but I'm not going to pay what's going on. So for anybody, and if you're a Seismitoad fan, I'm sorry. Congratulations. But at the same time, sorry, because you can't even. Well, most people aren't going to buy that card as is right now. But let's be honest, I don't think there's that many people that are Seismitoad fans. So just be careful. Obviously, if it just doesn't make sense. So that's another thing that I wanted to talk about. And like I said, it's just the way the market is right now. People are gonna go just they're all. It's just like a huge hype bubble. It's and it'll be interesting to see what happens when the hype dies down. But like I said, the whole Dragonite situation, everyone's slamming on Dragonite and saying how ugly it is and how fucked up it is, and Pokemon fucked it up. And then, um, like I said, there's going to be an SAR that's going to come out, and it's going to be more than likely it's going to be amazing. It's going to look super cool. They're going to do something super cool with it, and people are going to be like, "Oh, I always love Dragonite." Just like people say, "Oh, I always like Seismitoad. Thought Seismitoad was a cool Pokemon." Whatever. The last thing Pokemon related that I want to talk about in this video is, for anyone who's not aware, um, with the whole drops for the Pokemon Center, it is looking like they are adjusting. Um, So like the ETBs that came out, it looks like the ETBs they're going from 1 to 2, and then so just be mindful of that. I don't think I do. I tell you one thing. I think if I had to bet one thing, I think Prismatic they are trying everything humanly possible to print that set into the ground. I think if anything, like Destined Rivals, Surging Sparks, all that stuff, like we may not get reprints for that. We might get like booster bundles and stuff like that, like later on down the line. But I think as far as like if the if it, the one thing I'd be careful about buying right now is not necessarily careful, but if you're looking for like for your value to continue to go up, is Prismatic Evolutions. I think they are going to continue. They've got like almost 2 years left, or like a year and a half. They're going to print that. They are going to continue to print that one way or another, whether it's um, like at Costco or Sam's or throwing it in collection boxes or whatever. Like it may not be ETBs, SPCs, stuff like that, but Prismatic overall, they're going to print. Like they are super trying to print that into the ground. So with that being said, I'm personally going to hold off um, until the beginning of next year. Like I am going to collect the newer sets. If I can find stuff at MSRP, I will get it for MSRP. But as far as like a lot of the Prismatic and stuff like that, or Surging or Destin, like I said, if I can get even in booster boxes, if I can get those for MSRP, I'm gonna get them. But as far as paying over, I'm not gonna do that until like March of next year, and then I'm going to buy a decent amount of product, and I may pay double MSRP, or who knows. But that's my play. Is I'm going to probably put about 5K in March, and just buying whatever booster boxes I can or cards that I want. Um, is my plan. Um, so hopefully the bubble pops and we go down, because then I can just stock up. Like I can get like twice to three times more product than what I can get if the bubble's still going on. But for anyone who's not aware, uh, Costco is dropping surging sparks, ETBs, and bundles, booster bundles, and then Sam's Club. They were supposed to get them in stores. Apparently, some places got them in stores, but I don't think a lot of them. I think it was more of like a West Coast thing, because I know me personally in my area and a lot of people, like there's not a bunch of videos for this Sam stuff to be going on. If it was in every single Sam's Club like they were saying by August 1st, you would be seeing tons and tons and tons of videos. Um, so the fact that you're not, I think that either they're like slow releasing them, so like West Coast gets them first, and then like different regions will get theirs and release them in stores. But they had that drop on Sam's Club, and then that's it that I've seen really. But they are fixing, for anyways, to get to the point. For anyone who hasn't seen, they're also having a Lucario Tyranitar like collection box or something for like 60, 56, $60. That's going to be dropping here in like, I don't know, a couple days, a week, 2 weeks, something like that. But it's supposed to be available by the end of the month, and it's going to have 14 packs. So, I think that those are kind of the plays if you can get those. Like I said, I'd rather take my chance at like normally TBs or SPCs. I'd rather wait, and then if they're like, if like an SPC is like $300, it's $300, and I'll buy it. So just something to keep in mind in case anybody didn't know. Like I said, I make shorts for a lot of this stuff, so try to keep people in the loop. And the last thing is, obviously, if you've looked a lot of my videos, that if you have been around for a minute, a lot of the videos I privated them, and then I did this voice changing face thing to my videos. And the reason why is I was trying to get some form of engagement on these videos. I like I said, my plan is for and what I, what I'd like and what I'm hoping for is to get this channel to grow. Um, obviously I have not been doing this forever. I've just started like a couple months ago, but like it has been painfully slow, um, like way slower than I even anticipated. So, um, and what I thought was normal. So, for anybody who's watching it while I'm switching back, I just wanted to switch back, and so been working on the thumbnails, been working on titles, been working on descriptions, all that stuff. So hopefully, I want people to appreciate me and my videos, without like a gimmick or something like that. And so that's why. So, anyways, just wanted to explain it. This is how videos are gonna be. They're either gonna be like in a car, or they're gonna be, you know, out here. And I hope that one day somebody people will start to watch these videos, we can start to grow. And the thing is the more people that click on the videos, watch the videos, subscribe, leave likes, leave comments. Like, you don't have to subscribe if you don't really want to, but if you watch the video, if you just leave a like or a comment, and we can get these videos out. um, because my plan is to be able to get to a point to make I can make videos opening up product, which I know a lot of people like to watch, opening up product and being able to give that product or sealed product away to people. Especially during like these super crazy market situations. So I'm going to continue to work on the videos and the editing. I'm going to do basic editing. I'm not going to do a bunch of crazy, clips in and out and stuff like that. I'll throw a little bit in. I'm just going to keep it plain Jane. And, if we grow, or if this channel grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I guess like I said, I'm going to keep making videos regardless. But if getting free stuff eventually, um, sounds good to you, then leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, help this channel grow, share it with your friends or your family or whatever, um, because it'll only benefit you guys in the long run. I'm not looking to make a ton of money, and just pocket it. It'd be great if I could make 50,000 extra a year. That's a lot of product I can buy, to be able to do openings daily, be able to give stuff away. So the ball's in, ball's in y'all's courts. Like I said, I'm to me, I feel like I'm doing a lot, that the majority of what I can do, with, like I said, the thumbnails, descriptions, trying to do the content, um, trying to do all the stuff in the back end. So just wanted to come on here and explain that. So, anyways, that's gonna be today's video. That's gonna be the weekly recap, and I'll see you guys next week, and we'll cover some more topics. Peace.